right now.
A potential game changer when it comes to cancer treatment. Tonight, how UT Health San Antonio is on the forefront of a breakthrough.
But first, could a case of a severe child abuse have been avoided? That's what a woman is asking tonight after her niece was brought to the hospital severely burned and drugged.
And she tells KSAT's Patty Santos that her family tried to get Child Protective Services involved.
It's terrible. I've tried to get those kids away from them so many times.
Samantha Feathers says she was appalled to hear the news that her 1-year-old niece was in the hospital for severe burns and tested positive for meth.
The filth and the risk of infection, again, the torture that they put this baby through, it's inhuman.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office arrested Amanda Mann and Dustin Lawrence on 3 counts related to child endangerment and 4 counts of child abandonment. Feathers says her family raised several warnings to the Texas Abuse Hotline for years prior to this incident.
Called them back and they said that they're just going to make them go to a parenting drug class so they could keep the babies because they don't want to take the babies away from their parents.
The sheriff's office says the couple lived here in an RV along New Sulphur Springs Road in the southeast part of the county. That is where investigators say they found 2-month-old twins, a 6-year-old and 8-year-old, living in what the sheriff called filthy conditions. Neighbors who say they saw the police activity say they are shocked to hear about the severity of the case.
No baby deserves to go through anything like that. That is just cruel. I'm sorry. That just breaks my heart.
Child Protective Services would not confirm if there were any prior cases with this family, but said a total of 6 children were taken into custody.
I wish CPS would have listened to me and my mom, and they would have taken those kids away from them, because now look what happened.
And Samantha Feathers tells us her sister became estranged from them once she found out that they were involved in calling Child Protective Services. She now wishes she would have done more. Steve, Stefania?
Disturbing case. Thank you, Patty. To another investigation involving a young child. This one on Friday night. Deputies got to the Montage apartment complex on FM 78 in Converse to find 22-year-old Ashley Lampin with a severe head injury. Sheriff Javier Salazar said she was highly intoxicated, either fell out of a car or was hit in the parking lot. But at the same scene, deputies found a 2-year-old boy with a bandaged leg. When they took the bandage off, they found a gunshot wound. The child and his mother are recovering in the hospital. The sheriff says there were conflicting stories on the scene, but so far they've landed on this one.
There was a gun laying very near where the 2-year-old was, and the information is that the baby picked up the weapon and somehow shot himself in the leg. If I'm being honest with you, I don't 100% believe that that's what occurred, but that is a distinct possibility.
21-year-old Kobe Sullivan at that party told investigators he saw the gun on the table. He's been charged with making a firearm accessible to a child, injury to a child by omission, and tampering with evidence for trying to clean up the blood from the apartment. 25-year-old Lorenzo Williams also arrested for failure to ID to a peace officer, essentially giving them a fake name at the scene. Deputies are looking for 2 more suspects as well as the gun that shot that child.
Another news now, a man is in jail suspected of 3 sexual assaults on the northeast side. And tonight, San Antonio police believe that there could be more victims. Police arrested 26-year-old Keon Cray for sex crimes that happened between 2019 and 2022. At one point, Cray was a driver for a rideshare company. And officers tell us that they used DNA testing to link Cray to those crimes. So they're asking anybody who's come across Clay to call SAPD's Special Victims Unit. And that number is there on your screen at the bottom. It's 210-207-2313.
This man, Jacob Bronson, is finally going to trial. He's accused of shooting and killing 3 men inside their Northside apartment as his wife and 3 kids waited for him outside in a van. Bronson's actually been sitting in the Bexar County Jail for a while. At one point in 2018, he and 2 others were able to escape the jail, but were quickly recaptured. Testimony begins tomorrow morning in Bronson's trial. If he is found guilty, he would automatically be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
You ready? Tomorrow's election day, and you're going to be voting on 14 state constitutional amendments, and here's some of the notable ones. Proposition 4, we'll start with that. That's geared towards homeowners. It would temporarily limit appraisal values for non-homestead properties. It would also increase the homestead exemption on school district taxes, which could save a homeowner around $1,200 a year. And then we have Proposition 9. That's specific. It's for retired teachers. It would increase the cost of living adjustments for retired teachers, something that hasn't been done in almost 20 years. The increases would be anywhere from 2 to 6%. And then on to Prop 14. That would send $1 billion towards improving state parks. According to Texas Parks and Wildlife, that would be the largest investment in parks in our state's history. Now, those were just a few of the amendments that you're going to see on the ballot tomorrow. For a full breakdown and polling locations, scan that QR code that you see there on your screen. Now, we're not done here, because if you need a ride to the polls, well, VIA can help you out there. You can get a free bus ride if you show the bus driver a valid voter registration card. This is part of VIA's long-standing Ride VIA to Vote program. Since it launched in 2016, VIA has provided more than 2,000 trips for voters. Now, many of you, of course, don't have to worry about getting a ride to the polling station because you've already done it. You voted early. Out of the 1.1 or 1.2 million registered voters in Bexar County this year, just a little more than 62,000 voters made it out to the polls early.
To Austin now, and with one more day left in the third special session, Texas Republicans in the House and Senate simply not on the same page, and it's keeping some of those bills from reaching Governor Greg Abbott's desk. House Bill 4, a bill that would allow local police to arrest migrants crossing into Texas, punted by the Senate over the weekend, and they likely won't make a decision on it tomorrow. Lawmakers also have all day Tuesday to figure out if they will get a bill passed regarding a school voucher-like program. It's something the governor has called a top priority for months. He's not ruling out calling lawmakers back to Austin next year for a fourth special session if something doesn't get done tomorrow. By the way, a new version of the school voucher bill would give more funding to public schools. The latest installment of KSAT Explains dives into how and where public schools get their money right now and the role a San Antonio school district played in revolutionizing the system. That episode streaming on our website, ksat.com, right now.
So now let's head on over to national politics. The stage is now set for the third Republican presidential debate. It's going to be in Miami. And this time you're going to see fewer candidates on the stage. Chris Christie, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Tim Scott are going to be debating on Wednesday night. Former President Donald Trump hasn't participated in any of the GOP debates so far, and he's also going to be skipping this one. Meanwhile, Doug Burgum and Asa Hutchinson campaigned in Florida over the weekend, but they didn't meet the qualifications to join their rivals on stage, so you're not going to see them there.
New on the Nightbeat, the Uvalde CISD Board of Trustees named Ashley Cholis as its lone superintendent finalist. Cholis brings 28 years of education experience and is currently serving as superintendent of Poth ISD. In a statement, she thanked the Board of Trustees and the community and expressed excitement for the work ahead.
I want to get you ready for the morning commute tomorrow. Anticipate areas of fog. Here's one of our Futurecast solutions, and it does show the fog increasing through the morning hours. And visibility is down to 2 to 3 miles in some instances through part of the morning. Probably at its worst between 7 and 7:30 a.m. and then notice by 9 a.m. it clears out. And actually, I think we'll have a decent amount of sunshine tomorrow, but morning fog really the next couple of days. Quick look at our headlines. Warm through Wednesday, but a cold front is on the way, and it arrives on Thursday, promising rain chances not just with that front, but a whole other weather feature we're going to talk about. So we'll talk about the temperature drop with that front, when it hits, what it means for the winds, and a look at how much rain we could see in a bit.
All right, Adam, thank you. Tonight, more calls for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. Now, NATO member Turkey wants an immediate ceasefire. This is happening as the Israeli Defense Force continues its invasion into the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Antony Blinken is visiting several Arab and Muslim nations to listen to their frustrations, but also to rally support. But he also says that a ceasefire would allow Hamas to regroup and commit further deadly attacks. President Biden also on the same page, but he's also called for a so-called humanitarian pause, something that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says won't happen until Hamas releases more than 200 hostages.
Now for a look at some of today's big headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. Striking actors say they have responded to Hollywood and TV studios' so-called last best and final offer. The union says there are several essential items the two sides have yet to agree on, like restrictions on the use of artificial intelligence. Currently, the two sides quickly working to resolve the strike in time to save the remainder of the winter television season. It's still unclear when or if a deal will be reached. Donald Trump testified for almost 4 hours in his New York civil fraud trial. The former president, his adult sons, and other company executives accused of overvaluing Trump's company assets by billions of dollars. Trump told the courtroom he didn't personally guarantee the accuracy of his financial statements, but hoped that his accountants kept accurate books. The New York State AG's office will rest their case after Trump's daughter Ivanka testifies on Wednesday. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
Now back here at home, one of San Antonio's longest holiday traditions needs some help. We're talking about the annual Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner. It needs volunteers to feed tens of thousands of people for its Thanksgiving dinner. Now VIA is taking the people to the event for free. It's going to be at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center on Thanksgiving Day. So here's the deal. If you want to sign up to be a volunteer, go to RaulJimenezDinner.com. RaulJimenezDinner.com. Coming up, we're seeing the early stages of a major breakthrough when it comes to cancer treatment. And guess what? It's happening right here in San Antonio.
Researchers at UT Health San Antonio unveiling a potential game changer.
Yeah, our Jonathan Cotto takes us into the labs at the Mays Cancer Center, where research is on the verge of changing the rules and also revolutionizing cancer care.
The conventional approach for individuals with BRCA1 mutation has often been a mastectomy, a life-altering decision. But here at UT Health San Antonio, a glimmer of hope is on the horizon. Imagine a future where carrying the BRCA1 mutation doesn't automatically mean surgery. UT Health San Antonio is at the forefront of this discovery. Researchers are exploring alternatives that could provide a personalized and less invasive approach for patients with mutations in the BRCA1 gene. It is a human tumor suppressor gene responsible for repairing DNA.
And so we really are at the beginning of trying to understand what different mutations in BRCA1 mean in terms of, breast and ovarian cancers.
Researchers in this lab have discovered the molecular workings of the mutations in BRCA1 that can cause cancers in women.
The broader implications are obviously understanding or stratifying patients for therapy, or carriers for therapy, understanding whether a particular mutation is bad or not in terms of, a particular patient.
Discoveries linking BRCA1 mutations to ovarian and breast cancer are far from new. But no one has been able to make strides at this level of biochemistry until now.
Only our lab and also maybe a handful lab in the whole world can do this protein purification of BRCA1, can do such a study. And then so make our unique feature.
Researchers tell me not all mutations in the BRCA1 gene are bad. Now they'll be able to assess whether mutations that could lead to cancer can be treated in other ways.
But if this mutant does not have any problem with the function of BRCA1, then probably we do not need it. So say for some patient kind of overworried the mutation.
And as research progresses, these doctors say they will learn more about other mutations and their effect on BRCA1.
So it's an ongoing process, but the results are that we're beginning to get can be almost immediately applicable in some ways.
Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Now let's take a live look outside around I-10. All right, 71 degrees out there right now. All right, so we're going to enjoy this. Enjoy, I guess. This depends on who you are and what you like. But yes, we'll be having a warmer weather for a bit. But then let's talk about some changes, Adam.
Yeah, some big time changes coming again this week. A strong cold front's headed our way. It's not going to be quite as strong as the last front we had, when we got into the 30s and even freezing temperatures in the hill country, but you will notice this front when it arrives. Let's start with our rain chances. That is what we're in such dire need of, more rainfall. Nothing the next couple of days, but by Thursday we boost that up to 60%, and then even through Thursday night, early Friday, they're high. And then by Friday afternoon, the rain really moves on out of here. And then another opportunity Sunday through Monday. Right now we have that at 40%. So let's talk about our setup. We've had the high clouds streaming overhead, which made for a nice sunset this evening and should make for a nice sunrise tomorrow morning. But we also have this dip in the upper level flow, this trough that's moved into the Pacific Northwest, pulling the moisture in from the ocean. That's going to head our way later this week. It's going to team up with some energy we already have aloft and more Pacific moisture coming onshore. This little conveyor belt of Pacific energy and mid and upper level moisture that's just going to help saturate our atmosphere and help stir things up a little bit more, along with the cold front that moves in on Thursday around the noon hours when that cold front should hit. Now, the rain should start, first of all, in the hill country Thursday morning and then move elsewhere into south and central Texas. It's not going to be raining all day on Thursday. We just have high hopes of good coverage of rainfall. And then notice how it goes through Thursday night into early Friday through the morning commute and then moves on out of here. Then our next opportunity comes Sunday and Monday. And overall rainfall potential, although we have really high confidence in our rain chances around here. I expect to see decent amounts of rain coming and going. Don't get too excited about the overall accumulations. We're talking non-thunderstorm rain, light to moderate in nature, that'll be coming and going over that time period. So I think some of the luckiest neighborhoods could get up to around 2 inches of rain through next Monday. So a few inches here and there, that would be drought denting. It would help out. We'll, of course, take it. But we'll be updating you as we get closer to the event on the rainfall potential and where some of the sweet spots could be. 72 right now. Dew point is 63. Now, the air temperature is going to drop down to that dew point tonight. They're going to meet. That means the air is going to be saturated. Relative humidity will be 100%, and that leads to the morning fog. But let's talk about where the cooler air is. Right now, you see the upper 30s across the Dakotas, parts of Montana, Wyoming, Minnesota. That cooler air, it's going to take its time, but it's eventually going to work its way southward, and it'll make it here. Wednesday, still warm. Tuesday, Wednesday, still warm. But by Thursday's our transition day, and then Friday, you'll really notice the changes. So look at our temperature trend. Mid-80s the next couple of afternoons. So 84 tomorrow and Wednesday. By Thursday, we're at 74. That's average for this time of year. It's our transition day. And then Friday through the weekend, we're talking low to mid 60s for afternoon highs. And I think the warmest we'll get is about 64 degrees on Saturday. And that may be a little generous behind this front. Also, the winds will pick up. We're going to fast forward to Thursday as the front hits around noon. You won't feel it immediately here in San Antonio, but the hill country at noon, you'll see wind gusts between 20 and 30 miles per hour. 2, 3 o'clock here in San Antonio and surrounding areas, you'll notice the wind. Out of the north, gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. And then we're going to maintain a north wind for several days through the weekend and into the early part of next week. So here's the details for tomorrow. That patchy fog through 9 a.m., 63 at 7 a.m. By noon, we're at 79 and mostly sunny. I mean, we'll have some fog in the morning, but then a sunny day. 84 the high temperature. We'll hit that around 4 p.m. 85 in Pleasanton tomorrow, 80 Bulverde, 82 Comfort, Uvalde, 84 degrees. And notice those morning temperatures a little bit closer to 50 degrees in the lower 50s behind this front. That's starting on Friday. So a lot to update you on in the days ahead. Cooler temperatures, feeling fall-like again and some rain.
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you, Adam.
All right, so we wondered how the Spurs would bounce back after the disappointment last night. It wasn't good.
It was not good at all. So the Pacers led the entire way in this game, and it was tied twice early on. Outside of that, the Pacers just dominated the Spurs tonight. Coming up, Pop's going to tell you what went wrong. And UTSA football, they currently have a pretty impressive conference winning streak coming up. And the Spurs played their first set of back-to-back games this season, and it did not go well. Late first quarter at Indiana, Pacers guard Buddy Hield hits a three with 1/10 of a second left, and the Pacers led 44-28 after one. Second quarter, now here's something we won't see very much. Victor Wembanyama getting a shot blocked by Isaiah Jackson. The Pacers push it back the other way, where Hield goes three, and Indy goes up 47-28. They led by as many as 27 in the first half and 86-61 at halftime. Now the second half, well, it was just the same. Third quarter, Wemby makes a three, drawing the Spurs within 21. That's as close as they would get in the second half. Victor scored 13. He had 10 rebounds in 21 minutes. He sat out the entire fourth quarter, as did fellow starters Zach Collins and Keldon Johnson. Pacers led by as many as 44, and they hammered the Spurs 152-111. Indiana outshot SA from downtown 20-8. Here's Pop after the game.
The first quarter told the tale. They made 13 free throws in the first quarter, 8 second chance points, 8 fast break points all in the first quarter. Back-to-back has nothing to do with that. It's November, last time I checked. So I think, they kicked our butt. They deserve credit.
Spurs will try to regroup and bounce back Wednesday night, 6:30 at the New York Knicks. In women's college basketball, guard Carly Winslow helped number 8 Virginia Tech win their season opener tonight, 94-55 against High Point. Winslow, a redshirt freshman from Antonian Prep, played 19 minutes off the bench and scored 7 points on 3 for 4 shooting, and she had a game-high 4 block shots. The big game in our big game playoff coverage this week, we'll see the Burbank Bulldogs host the Veterans Memorial Patriots on a Class 5A Division II by-district contest. The Bulldogs finished the regular season 9-1 overall, 8-1 in District 14-5A2, with their only loss coming to Alamo Heights, who won District with a perfect mark. Led by head coach Michael Mole, this year's squad is just the third in Burbank history to win 9 games in a single season.
It's very special, new coaching staff and new players, just trying to adjust and just transition into a better program and instead of like a dynasty and a legacy. It's very special, and I just can't wait to, win the playoff game.
Very special season. I know it's a very special season for my seniors. That's why we tried our hardest and going 9-1. And this playoff one, we got to get this playoff one. So
it's very special. This school doesn't really see that much success, and it's very nice to do something like that for this school.
I'm as excited as can be. I couldn't wait to get out here this morning. I feel like they're going to feel the same way. Got a couple text messages yesterday on a Sunday from kids and stuff, so I know that they're thinking about it all last night.
And we stopped by Veterans Memorial High School today, where the Patriots were getting ready for that first-round matchup with the Bulldogs. The Pats finished the regular season 6-4 overall and 4-2 in District 13-5A2, good for second place behind Piper. The Pats, who finished the regular season on a 2-game winning streak, are not taking this week or making the playoffs for granted.
This is a special moment. Everyone dreams about being in the playoffs. Some people had to turn their pads today, and we're just thankful to be out here practicing another week.
I find it to be I feel like it's a reward for our hard work. Not many people can say they've been to the playoffs or have to put up their pads this week because they didn't make it, and we were fortunate to be able to be at this position, and we're just working hard right now, trying to get better for the playoffs.
Well, the message we're sending our guys is to enjoy the moment, take advantage of every opportunity to get better, because not everybody gets to do what we're getting to do today, and that's practice football and get ready for a big playoff game.
Veterans Memorial Burbank is our game of the week, Friday night at 7 at the SISD Sports Complex. It's 15 and counting for UTSA football after the break. UTSA won at North Texas Saturday, 37-29, to push their conference winning streak to 15 straight. They're 6-3 overall this season and 5-0 in the American, their first year in the conference. 15 straight conference wins to go with back-to-back Conference USA championships. It's very sweet.
It is remarkable, I will agree. And it just shows you the players we've had here in the last 4 years and how much they respect conference play and the work they put in and how they continue to get better each game. And there's no magic pill. If there was a magic pill, everybody would do it. There's not. It's just having great players, give them a good plan.
UTSA will go for 16 straight conference wins when they host Rice Saturday, 6:30 p.m. at the Dome. The Roadrunners, who are bowl eligible again, are favored by 13.5 points.
Didn't it seem like Traylor just got here?
I know, right?
Now they've reeled off 15 straight conference wins.
Yeah, they're pretty much untouchable in conference right now.
They are.
Awesome. We'll be right back.